Hi guys, and welcome to platform training. In this video I'm going to show you how to add websites by the hundreds and the thousands into Senuke using just one script. So all these websites are going to be running on the same platform. For example, the forum sites like PHPBB or vBulletin. All these websites, they use the same software to run the website. That's why it's possible to automate hundreds or even thousands of websites in one go. So for this example, we're gonna be automating a forum platform called MyBB. And this forum platform doesn't actually come with Senuke, so it's a good example. First thing we're gonna do is go into the forum profile custom category, right click and go to add script. Now it asks for the site URL. Now we're gonna be giving it hundreds of site URLs. So for this example, we're just gonna pick one random site URL. I'm just going to paste a list of the site URLs here. So for now we're going to be working with just this many different sites. And the point is just to show you how to go about creating a platform script instead of actually creating a good script for this example. So we're just going to be working with this many sites. So when it asks for the site URL, let's just copy and paste the first site in there. Make sure the module says forum profile, and for the script name, this can be different from the actual site URL. So let's type in mybb account creation. Press save. Now this window pops up. Okay, it looks like I'm already logged into this website because I was testing this MyBB platform earlier. So I'm just going to log out for now. And okay, so the first thing we got to do is go to the register page. Or actually before that, we should copy and paste this entire list into the site list right here. Okay, now first thing we got to do is go into the register page. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this and go navigate to link target. Now over here we'll see that this whole part right here can be replaced with the site URL variable, which is going to get the actual URL of each website, and then press save. So let's delete this. The first step is going to do is going to navigate to this URL. Once it gets to this URL, second thing we want to do is we want to wait for a piece of text. So let's wait for registration agreement. Now let's go down and click I agree. Okay, so now let's run these two steps. Okay. Now let's fill in the regular username, password, email, and press submit. Okay. Now let's run all these steps. Okay, great. So now it says thank you for registering. So now when we try to select this particular element, it says unable to select this complicated element. So elements that have other elements inside of them, it's going to fail to select sometimes. So what we can do is simply select something simple like board message. Now I don't want to actually wait for the word board message. I'm just going to type in thank you for registering. Okay. Now the last step is mark finished. So that's great. Now we've automated the first website in the list. Now what we want to do is we want to test this script on the rest of the websites and make sure it works. When we have hundreds or even thousands of websites, we obviously won't have the time to test the script on every single website by manually. So what you want to do is when you're automating hundreds or thousands of different websites, just test like 20 or 30 of those different websites and keep improving the script until it works with all 30 of the websites, and then you can assume that if it works for a random sample of 30 of the thousands of websites, then it's gonna get a decently high success rate for the rest of them. Okay, so now we've already tested this one website. Now what we want to do is we want to check to see if this particular website also works with this script. But when we press the play button, it's always only gonna pick the first site URL in the list. So what we want to do is we want to copy this, and then we want to paste this as the top website. And now when we press run, it's gonna go to that website instead of this one. Okay, so once again it looks like I'm logged in here. So there are two things that you can do. You can either add a step to log out, or you can clear your cache and cookies before running the account creation script. It's usually better practice to add a step to log out first. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's if it detects the words welcome back, we'll tell it to log out. So let's copy this, let's delete the script, and let's add welcome back. So it's going to wait for either of these two pieces of text after the first navigate step. Now let's say if this text found, let's jump to step number 14. So this is step number 13. So once it's going to detect this welcome back text, then what it's going to do is it's going to click this logout element. Now this logout key we see is a random key, so we're going to put a wildcard in there. And let's actually add a comment on here, logout branch. So this is going to tell us that if it detects the words welcome back, it jumps to this step, which is the logout branch. And also over here we see, actually we shouldn't even have the URL here. We should just have a star here as well, because each website is going to have a different URL. So let's just have a star all the way up until action equals logout. Okay. Now once it logs out, let's see what happens. Okay, so once it logs out, it shows us this piece of text. So let's wait for hello there guest. And once that is found, let's jump back to step number 2. So once it logs out, it's going to jump back here, and then it's going to try and register again. So now let's press play. Okay, so now we notice that the second website in the list, it requires a CAPTCHA. So what do? We simply add that. Let's do solve CAPTCHA, and then set element value, and then let's put in the CAPTCHA solution. And so these two pieces of text go somewhere after putting in the email address. So let's put it here. Now what happens if a certain website doesn't have a CAPTCHA but other websites do have a CAPTCHA? How does Senuke handle that? And the answer is that every single one of these fields that you actually set is an optional field. So if it does not find that field on the website, it's just going to try and continue without it. What's going to happen is if it doesn't find the field, it's going to wait 5 seconds to give the field a chance to show up. If it doesn't even show up after 5 seconds, it's just going to try and continue without that particular field. So let me show you what I mean. On this website, the second website that we already automated, we don't have a CAPTCHA. So what happens if we run this script? So let's run it. Okay, it's saying system shows that you've already logged in, so now it's going to the logout step. Okay, so it's saying we cannot process your registration. There's already been 2 new registrations. So what we can do in that kind of thing is we can say if this text found, then simply skip the website. We could put that here. we could put that here, and then we say cannot process. So it's going to allow any of these three strings to jump and go to the next step. So let's see what it does actually. So it found we cannot process, so it simply is going to skip the script in that case. This is going to save you time because otherwise it's going to keep auto retrying up to 4 times, and that's going to waste time. So if you know that there's a certain piece of text which means you will not be able to sign up to this website, then just go ahead and add a skip site step. Okay, so let's fix this issue by changing our IP address. So I'm just going to change my IP address and then I'll come back to this. Okay, so now I've changed my IP address and I've also deleted the cookies using the toolbox. So now let's try this again. Let's press run. Okay, so now it's signing up for the website, and notice that once it gets to this step, the CAPTCHA step, it's going to say unable to find the CAPTCHA, element not found, continuing without it. Right, so that's the logic it uses. If that element is not found, it's just going to continue without it. So what this lets you do is it lets you put a whole bunch of different possible fields that might show up on the page. And if a certain website has that field, great, it's going to fill it in. If it doesn't have that field, it's just going to keep going. Okay, so the username already exists. Let's copy and paste this into here. And we're going to assume that if we find this already exists piece of text, that means that the account has already been created, and we're going to mark it successful. Okay, so I hope that explains how to deal with optional fields. So let's go back to this and make sure that the actual account creation works properly. Okay, now I started the CAPTCHA solving. I'm just gonna stop this and disable automatic CAPTCHA solving just to make things faster. Okay, let's just continue running it from this step. Okay, great. So that website was a success. So what we can do is we can either simply copy and paste each website to the top of the list, or what we can do is we can run this in the actual submitter over here. So what we can do is we can select them all, and then we can just press start. And that's gonna start running everything, and you'll be able to find out which websites succeeded and which websites failed. Now if we run this in let's say 16 different browser windows all at once, it's gonna really confuse us. We won't be able to see what exactly is going on. So let me just run it in one browser window at a time. We've already dealt with the first two websites, so I'm just going to deselect those and select the rest. Okay, so let me press start and let's see what happens at every single website. Okay, so we see that this one wants us to specify our date of birth. So let's stop this and let's copy this URL and let's paste that at the top of this. Now over here you might think that now we have duplicate URLs, but when you actually save the script, it automatically removes the duplicates, so you don't really need to worry about the duplicates. Okay, so let's run the script. Okay, so how do we fix this? We add this as a wait for condition. And then we say if this text found, then let's jump to step number 18. Or actually step number 18 is incorrect. So if it finds this piece of text after navigating to the register page, is it going to jump to actually let's make the step number 99 for now, and let's fill in all these different fields. So combo select random is good. It's going to select a random day, random month, and then for the year let's put 19 as the first two digits to make sure that we're old enough. And then what we can do is we can do random digit and then put 2 in brackets. So then it's going to pick any two random digits after 19. Okay. And then we just press this button. Now let's call this the fill date of birth branch. And this is step number 21, so we want this to jump to step number 21. Okay, so let's actually run this. Okay, so after running this, what we can do is we can tell it to jump to step number 3 again, which is going to take us to the registration agreement. Okay, so let's run everything from the beginning. Okay, looks like things are going good. Okay, great. So that one went well. So now let's deal with the rest of these. Let's press start and let's see what happens. Okay, so that one went well. Now the celebrity forum. See, it says red submit not found, continuing without it. So it's not able to actually find a certain button. I'm not sure which one it's not able to find, so let's wait for it to try again. Okay, looks like that was a one-time issue. H. Okay, that one went well. Okay, so now we see that we entered the wrong captcha, so it says image verification code you entered was not correct. So we could have added special handling for this piece of text, which would make it jump to a certain step to just retry. But what we're choosing to do is instead we're telling it to auto retry from the beginning. Now, if you simply added a jump to step, every time that piece of text was found, just try re-entering the captcha. What that's going to do is that's going to create the possibility of an infinite loop. because if you let it auto retry, then it only does it a max of 4 times. But if you make it jump to a certain step every single time, then chances are it could keep jumping forever. So I prefer not to add those kind of jumps that could result in an infinite loop. Okay, so I'm just going to pause this until we have something interesting to actually show you on the screen. Okay, so this is what I actually wanted to show you. Now, we have an example of a page here that has two different types of captchas. So these people really think that adding two different types of captchas are gonna stop spammers for some odd reason, which is incredibly dumb. But we've only added handling for this type of captcha. We haven't added handling for reCAPTCHA. So I'm just gonna type in that captcha, but it's gonna say that reCAPTCHA verification failed. So what we're gonna do is let's stop this. And so the actual website that this happened was on this website. So let's copy this to the clipboard and let's make that the first website. And so let's press play. Okay, so let's stop it right here. And we've already added handling for this bottom captcha. Now all we have to do is add handling for the top captcha. And then move it to the appropriate place on the script. So now we see that we have two captcha solving steps, one after the other. Now for this particular website, both are necessary, but for other websites, only one of the solve captcha steps will be necessary. So what Senuke is going to do is it's just going to ignore the other captcha step. It's just going to continue without it if it can. So that's the main idea that I want to tell you. When automating platforms, you'll come across websites that have slight differences from website to website. So what you want to do is you want to run a small sample of the hundreds or thousands of websites that you're trying to automate and improve the script, as you go through each website. And once you do about 30 to 40 websites, you're going to have a really good accurate script that can work for the majority of the sites. And once you have that, then just go ahead and copy and paste the thousands of websites and then simply tell Senuke to submit with, let's say, 16 different browser windows, however many your computer can handle, depending on how fast your computer is, and then just select them all and then just press run, and then you'll be able to see all the successes and all the failures. Now once you're done that submission and it tells you all the different successes and failures, how do you go about actually removing the failed sites? So all you have to do is click this button and then click on remove sites with less than 100% success rate. This is going to remove all the websites that failed. So let's do this right now. Right now it's saying we haven't tested any of the sites yet because we modified this script after running it previously. So anytime we modify the script, it tells us, hey, you haven't tested the sites with this particular script. But anyways, once you select all the websites and then you run them and everything is complete, all you have to do is come here and then remove sites with less than 100% success rate, and that's going to remove all the bad sites from the list, and you're only going to be left with sites that are working 100% of the time. And that is all there is to it, to automating a platform.